Hey soldiers, do you remember the Inflation Reduction Act? If you do, you probably also remember me telling you right here on this channel that that piece of legislation was going to do anything but reduce inflation. In fact, it was going to have the exact opposite effect. Now the chickens have come home to roost, and we're going to tell you exactly what's going on with the Inflation Reduction Act today. Guess what? While the country was mired in revelry and everybody was celebrating New Year's Eve. Oh, look at the ball. The ball is dropping. There is a singing of Old Lang Syne, all the festivities and people hugging and kissing, making resolutions. While that was occurring, at the stroke of midnight, Joe Biden's Inflation Reduction Act did two things. It increased the cost of a resource that is absolutely necessary to your life, increase the cost of that, and so that's inflation, and it raised your taxes, okay? This is coming from the misappropriately named Inflation Reduction Act. You see, your government hates you. They just see you as a battery for the system. They see you as a tax-paying consumer. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to go work a little job or have your little business, spend up all your money, rack up credit card balances and all that stuff, and pay your taxes. And as long as you do those things, they're going to give you bread and circuses. You're going to have a Super Bowl coming up here soon. Everybody's going to get excited about. If you ever look at a calendar, have you ever noticed how holidays are strategically placed so that every few weeks there is an opportunity for the conspicuous consumers among us to stimulate the American economy? All right, so we're just coming off of the Christmas/New Year season, big money spending opportunities, right? So we're going to roll into Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. Notice how you're going to have sales out there. MLK sale, buy this mattress, buy this car. We're going to roll right into Valentine's Day from there. President's Day is in that same month of February. You got St. Patrick's Day in March. You got Easter coming up in April. Memorial Day in May. You also got Mother's Day. Can't forget Mom, right? In May. June, you got Father's Day. Of course, we all know July is July 4th. August is a big vacation month. September, the kids go back to school. You got to get that back to school shopping on. October is Halloween. Then we're right back to Thanksgiving and the whole Thanksgiving/Christmas New Year season. So this is what the government wants from you. Okay, go out, spend your money, pay your taxes, or we'll send some people to come get you, put you in a cage. And then just forget about everything else. So while the masses are pretty much oblivious to what's going on out here with legislation, you're able, if you're a legislator or the president of the United States, you're able to get things through without anyone being the wiser. So what happened on January 1st? Well, for starters, you got a $6.5 billion natural gas tax. Now, that's going to increase household energy bills. You know that. Now, if you think your household energy bills are high now, you just wait. This particular tax, this $6.5 billion natural gas tax, is going to drive up the cost of household energy bills. Now, the CBO, or Congressional Budget Office, estimates the natural gas tax will increase taxes by $6.5 billion. And somebody out there may be under the mistaken impression that that's going to increase taxes for the companies and they're going to eat that. Yeah, they're going to pay the higher taxes, but that's going to trickle down into the consumer's wallet, or out of the consumer's wallet. This tax hike actually violates President Biden's tax pledge to Americans making less than $400,000 per year. So, hey, if you're making $40,000 a year, okay, $30,000 a year, if you got a gas and electric bill, guess what, buddy? You are on the hook for this. The American Gas Association has warned, and they wrote a letter to Congress, And they said that this will amount to a 17% increase on the average family's natural gas bill. So that gas bill is going to be inflated, right? Okay, so again, so much for the Inflation Reduction Act. All right, let's move on. There's a $12 billion crude oil tax that's also going to be passed on to households. And let me let you understand something very important. Not only are you going to get directly hit from the tax increase, them passing that down in terms of your bill, but you're also going to see increases elsewhere because everything you buy is dependent on energy, from the grocery store to your clothing to, furnishings you may buy for your home, everything. So this is going to permeate not just your gas and electric bill, but every aspect of your life. Now, this it's a $12 billion crude oil tax. Democrats, they're the ones that, pushed this through. They had the Congress at the time, and of course, our Democrat president signed it. I don't know if Republicans would have done any better. We shall see, right? They've got the House now. Democrats imposed a 16.4 cents per barrel tax on crude oil and imported petroleum products. Of course, this is, as I said, going to be passed on to the consumer. So when you come from buying your high-priced groceries that were shipped there by, a vehicle that has to also eat this tax, all of the preparation, planting, harvesting that went into, storage, that went into putting that steak on the shelf, okay, you're going to get the price increase there too. You're going to get hit from every which way. All right, not to be outdone, we got another increase in the Inflation Reduction Act. It's a $1.2 billion coal tax. Of course, it's also going to increase energy again. You see a trend developing here? So yes, that's correct. Every aspect of this vital resource that you use to run around town, transport your kids to and from school, soccer practice, go to church, go to work, heat your home, cook your food, those direct impacts. And as we said, and I cannot stress enough, you will also have indirect impacts. So the $1.2 billion coal tax will actually double the current excise taxes on coal production. Under this is again another Democrat proposal. The tax rate on coal from subsurface mining, underground mining, would increase from 50 cents per ton to $1.10 per ton, while the tax rate on coal from surface mining would increase from 25 cents per ton to 55 cents per ton. Another increase that is going to be passed on to you, the consumer. And I know by now you're probably saying, enough with the energy taxes. Well, good news. No more energy tax increases in the Inflation Reduction Act. But we got a different type of hit that you're going to be, a different type of gut punch that's coming up. They're very creative down in D.C. when it comes to taking money out of your pocket. A $74 billion stock tax, which will impact your 401k, your IRA, your pension plans. When Americans choose to sell shares of stock back to a company, Democrats will impose a new federal excise tax, which will reduce the value of household nest eggs. Raising taxes and restricting stock buybacks harms the retirement savings of any individual with a 401k, traditional IRA, or pension plan. Not to mention the 403b and those other plans that, are qualified plans that help people save for retirement. Oh, and all you union folk out there who are so wild about, the Democrats, this will affect your retirement plans as well, those pensions. The tax will put U.S. employers at a competitive disadvantage with China, which does not have such a tax. They being the media and government, have done a tremendous job of demonizing stock buybacks in the past few years. Stock buybacks, if you own shares in that company, stock buybacks actually help you, help your investment grow, help your investment become more valuable. Stock buybacks help grow retirement accounts. Raising taxes and restricting buybacks is actually going to harm the 58% of Americans who own stock and more than 60 million workers invested in 401k. An additional 14.83 million Americans are invested in 529 education savings accounts. It's going to affect that too. Like I always tell you, you are Wall Street. Whenever the media or the government tries to demonize Wall Street, remember you are Wall Street. If you got an IRA, 529 savings, but any of these, you are Wall Street. Don't let them demonize you and get you to get into this mode of thinking where you are actually opposing your own interest. Do you really think half of these idiots know what's in the bill, what she just signed, what they are applauding? No. They're actually applauding increasing inflation and taxation on the American citizen. But hey, the American citizen keeps supporting this by putting these types of individuals in office. Individuals who, by and large, don't understand the economy. And if they do understand it, like this guy up here, Steny Hoyer with the white hair, he understands the economy. His family's wealthy. He's from Maryland. But he doesn't give a damn about you because, they're rich and you're beneath them. Pretty much how it works, okay? This is pretty much how they see it. So if they have read it, they don't care about you. Some of them have read it, don't understand it. All right. But these laws, especially this Inflation Reduction Act, notice how they try to also spin it to be about climate change. Okay. So it's like, how can you vote against this? But this law is going to do anything but decrease inflation, as we already know. Look at her. Well, let me take a picture with you. I'm such a sycophant. Look, I've even got on the same color as you. Look at me. These people, oh my God. And last, but certainly not least, you have a $225 billion corporate income tax hike. And I can't say it enough, this is also going to be passed on to, you guessed it, look in the mirror, you. We're looking at the imposition of a 15% corporate alternative minimum tax on the financial statement income of American businesses that report $1 billion in profits for the past 3 years. These American companies, of course, they employ millions of people right here in this country. The cost of this tax increase will be borne by working families in the form of higher taxes, fewer jobs, and lower wages. Now, the Tax Foundation, they did a report and they found that a 15% book tax would reduce gross domestic product by 0.1% and kill 27,000 jobs. Preliminary estimates from the Congressional Budget Office found the provision would increase taxes by more than $225 billion. And you don't think you're going to be paying some of that? The report concluded that, quote, the coal industry faces the heaviest burden on the book minimum tax. And we already saw earlier that we're going to have a separate tax on coal to begin with. So they're going to be hit, that energy sector for this particular commodity is going to be hit twice. They're facing a net tax hike of 7.2% of its pre-tax book income, followed by automobile and truck manufacturing faces a 5.1% tax hike. Cars are very expensive these days. I just can't believe how expensive they are. It's probably because I haven't bought a car in a while. But yeah, that's what's going on, guys. So look, again, I say, now I will never tire of saying this because it's the right thing to say. It's the right thing to do. And Obama had a penchant for repeating that phrase. But look, they're coming after you every way from Sunday with taxes. Now, we've gone over the national debt. We've shown you this website. You can go check it out yourself, see how rapidly that national debt is rising. Who do you think they're getting that money from? You. All right. Look at the cost of the tax burden per taxpayer. Over $244,000. Okay. That's your burden. You have got to figure out a way to opt out of some of this taxation. Now, you're not going to escape all taxation. Anybody who tells you that is being disingenuous. We got sales taxes, real estate taxes. We got travel taxes. We got income taxes. We got taxes here, taxes there, taxes everywhere. But there are ways you can reduce your tax burden now and in the future. I love, okay, one of the vehicles I love, and I don't put all my eggs in one basket, but one of the vehicles I love is permanent life insurance. And the reason I love it is because I get to sidestep future taxation. Why is that so important? Because taxes are not going down. Taxes in the future are going to be more expensive than they are now. Don't forget also that in 2025, we got another automatic tax increase coming up when the tax rates revert to their pre-Trump tax cut levels. Because as of right now, the Trump tax cuts are set to expire. And I don't think you're going to reverse that with a Senate held by the Democrats and the White House. Joe Biden's never going to sign that. Okay. So those are probably going to expire. So we're looking at another tax increase just automatically built into the cake, baked into the cake. All right. So that's where we are. Got to look at some vehicles that are going to, help you legally eliminate some of your taxation. Now, look, if you ever thought that these politicians out there are on your side and they have your back, I want you to check out this video. A major politician, might surprise you who it is, just came right out and said, guess what, Americans? You're not the number one priority. And you may also be shocked at what this politician believes the number one priority is. Rest assured, though, it ain't you. Guys, I'll talk to you soon.